Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope that you're doing well and you're enjoying the weather if you're somewhere there's summer and everything else. My name is Harriet Khataba and I'm the founder of HerStoryMatters. And today we are recording the Women Leadership Year Long Tribute, which is sponsored by HerStoryMatters organization. And HerStoryMatters organization partners with women communities, organizations, and institutions around the globe to provide access and opportunities for women in education, healthcare, economy, and leadership. And the Women Leadership Year Long Tribute Series is part of our way of giving back and empowering others and supporting women in their leadership journey. Today I have with me Kimberly, and Kimberly is a coach amongst other amazing things. I'm just going to bring her on so she can introduce herself. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for making time to be here with us today. Please tell us a bit about yourself because you would do a far better job of introducing yourself than I ever would.
that's how that's how it is, right, Miss Harriet? I want to first thank you for having me on your platform. I really do appreciate the opportunity to be able to share my leadership and how I lead myself in this great world of ours. But without further ado, I'll introduce myself. My name is Kimberly Mills Williams. I am a mother. I am a coach. I'm a coach of life for myself more so than anything. And with the coaching of myself, I take myself, put myself in situations to show other people that they can do it too. I'm not your standard coach that we'll sit down, we talk. I show you through how I live my life. I live my life a way in which I was not raised. I live it the way in which God intended for me to live. I seek Him in everything that I do. And what I do is pour out into the community and show you exactly what I do to change my life, and in hopes that this will inspire other women and other people to change their lives as well. I have two children. I'm divorced. I work full time in the pharmaceutical industry. Kind of weird though, because I'm trying to get off big pharma, but I work in the pharmaceutical industry. And I used to think that that was a conflict, but I don't see it as a conflict because some people really do need that additional push from pharmaceutical companies to live. They have diseases that cannot be corrected themselves. It can be, but we know they lend towards pharmaceutical drugs. So by day, I'm a pharmaceutical salesperson. So I teach myself sales skills. I teach other people sales skills. By night, I'm learning how to build myself up and to pour into myself and to pour into others. So I take my time and take my days to reprogram my mind and to reprogram myself so that I can be my best self and giving my best self to the world. That's who I am.
Thank you so much. You see, I would never be able to say all of that on your behalf. Thank you so much for sharing that about yourself. I mean, today we're talking about self-confidence and leadership, and I think self-confidence is one of the most major things when it comes to talking about leadership. And I would like to start off with your recent quote on How Story Matters magazine, which you were featured on. When asked about your career journey, you said, and I quote, "I don't believe you have to have a degree to be successful." These words ring so true for me, but why did you say this?
Well, this is going to take you back just a little bit. When I
That's okay.
graduated from high school, I was told at that time that what I wasn't going to do, that I wasn't going to be fit to do anything other than
Mm,
lay down on my back and have children and be a burden to my mother. And the only thing I can say is that I can show you better than I can tell you. I had signed up to go into the military, and my family was like, no military. So I went to college. And
mm,
while there, I went through, I finished. Turns out it wasn't accredited. And I'm like, I did all of this for what? I spent $21,000 for what? But then I sat back and I started applying for jobs that I didn't qualify for. But what I did do during that time was I learned how to sell myself in the interview. And I learned to believe that when I got on a job, they're going to train me to do the job anyway.
mm.
So why are you telling me that I have to have a degree to do your job when you're going to train me to do your job? That was my first thought. That was my first thought. And I was what, 21, 22 at the time. That was my first thought. But as I progressed and as I started learning, I learned that Oprah Winfrey doesn't have a degree. While she attended school, she never graduated. I learned that what's his name? Bill Gates doesn't have a 4-year degree. While he attended Harvard, he quit.
Yeah.
I learned that Mark Zuckerberg attended Harvard and he quit. So when I learned that Oprah Winfrey went to school, but she didn't finish, but Oprah was using her gifts, the gifts that God gave her, her voice to speak
Mm.
to the nation. I said, if she can, I can. It's never a thought of being jealous of what the next person is doing. It's a thought of, if they can do it, I can do it too. I just have to find my path to do it in. I
Mm.
just believe that we're all sent here to create our own path and to show someone else how to follow that path to get to where they want to be. Never one time in the Bible did it say I had to have a 4-year degree. Not once. Not once. That's what society tells me I have to have. And I just believe I have to follow what's in me. And when I follow what's in me, I'm happier, I'm healthier, and I'm able to pour out and able to do the things that I want to do that will bring me the income. My gifts make room for me. I believe that. And I live by that. I have helped people with master's degrees get the same job that I have without a degree. You know, we make the same money. So it's more about my confidence in going into the job, for one, and knowing how to sell myself for the job.
Mm.
Oftentimes people say, I can't sell anything, but you sell yourself every day you go to a job. You sell your talents, you sell your value to your company. And I just know that I don't need a degree. Man, I may need one for to be a doctor, but that's not where I'm headed. That's not where
Exactly.
I'm going. And when I found out that in the state of Virginia, you do not have to go to law school, and California, you do not have to go to law school. You can mentor under someone and take the bar exam. So that's proof positive right there that you do not have to go and have a degree. You have to have a degree to believe within that you
Mm.
can. You have to have that confidence to believe in your abilities. You have to be self taught and to train yourself how to do certain things. Because while I
Absolutely.
did go to school, what I'm doing is not what I went to school for, which is a lot of people, but I'm self taught in computers. I took the time to read the books to learn myself because that's what I wanted to do. And like I was sharing with a friend of mine yesterday, I said, please explain to me everything that you learned in college in this day, in this world, in this economy that we live now. Tell me that you're using that information. And she completely ignored my question because you don't.
Absolutely. It's so true. I'm a firm believer of that because most of the things that I am doing, it's all self-taught. I learned on the job or I learned doing it, just teaching myself.
Yep.
And I really think that sometimes even going to do the degrees, what tends to happen is it holds people back because you feel like I need to go for my PhD to be able to do this. And it's not necessarily true, like you quite rightly said. If you're a doctor or something like that, yes, you will need to do that because it's very intricate. But there's some things that we actually do. And also in things like self-leadership and leadership, I don't really believe that any leadership course can actually teach you how to fully be. Um, I don't believe any leadership course can actually teach you how to manage your emotions because I can tell you the process to do it, but you have to have the self-awareness. No one can teach you that stuff. You have to, it's there's some things which you can talk about the concept and people can go home and think they know the concept, but when it actually comes down to it, the more you do it, the more you know how to do it, and the more you become it. So I really love what you actually said there. And so we talk about self confidence, which is necessary for leaders. And it's not just leaders, it's everyone. Everyone needs to
Yep.
have that self confidence to take risks and accomplish high goals. Leaders who are self confident tend to deal immediately and directly with problems and conflicts rather than procrastinating, ignoring, or passing problems to others. you struggle with self-confidence. How did this affect you in your leadership roles, and how did you build your self-confidence? Because I think that's major.
And I'm laughing because I just started a new role on the current position I have. And the one thing that they do is they pass the book. Like, no, that's not my job. No, you need to go. And I'm like, this is driving me crazy. Like, I have to stop this. When it comes to my email, I have to stop it. But I'll be honest with you, Harriet, I just didn't like the way I was living. I didn't like my life.
Mm.
I didn't. I felt as though I had to wait for someone else to give me the permission to live the life that I wanted to live.
Ooh,
And
wow.
I
Yeah.
I didn't I couldn't wait any longer. I
Mm,
had to figure this out. I was like, this is my life. I don't have to wait for you to give me permission to make this amount of money. I don't have to wait for you to give me permission to go on vacation. I don't have to wait for permission. I gave myself permission to grow. And when you talk about emotions, sometimes, and I have this saying to myself, if anyone takes me out of character, that means they have control over me. And you will not have control over me. I'm writing my own obituary.
mm,
When I
mm,
die, my obituary will be written because I'm going to say what I'm going to put in it, what I want people to know about me. You won't be sitting around trying to figure out this or that or this or that or this or that, because I want my obituary to be an inspiration to someone else that you can change your life. And I
mm,
took control. That's what I did. I took control. It was when I was 35 and I was praying one day and I said, Father, I have to forgive them for what happened to me in my past. I can't keep carrying this weight.
mm,
So that's been my journey for the last 20 years, has been of self-discovery and being able to get into my own lane and create and live the way that I want to live. I listen to what other people have to say. I may listen to their opinion, but at the end of the day, it's theirs. And I let them keep it. And I go do what I have to do for me. It may upset the next person, and it's okay. But this is my life. I get one shot at creating it the way I want to live it, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to die with any regrets of me not taking an opportunity to live the life that I want to live. There's so many, I've heard quotes of so many people saying there are so many dreams and goals, and the what is it? The graveyard is the richest place for dreams and goals
yeah.
because that's where a lot of them have died with the people. There are books there, there are movies there are songs there are poems there that people didn't write for fear of what someone else would say. I always say, we don't have a rule book to life. We're going to make mistakes. There's nothing to be embarrassed about because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has problems. Everybody's embarrassed at some point. Pick yourself up and keep going. There's
Mm,
no rule book, just keep going. What the
mm,
government says for us to do, we have to operate within their rules. But in order to create the life that you want, there are no rules. Go and do it and stop waiting for someone to give you an opportunity and create your opportunity.
mm,
Create
mm.
it. Just like you've created Her Story Matters, and I thank you. You've done what you wanted to do, and you're giving other women an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's something that other people aren't doing. And I thank you. And I see what you're doing to help us. And that's what I decided I was going to do. I did not want to be where I am now at 55 and one of the ones complaining that my body aches. I didn't. I didn't want that rock that people have when they have to get up out of the chair.
Oh God, yes.
And so I decided I was going to change everything about me.
Mm,
Everything about me. And that's what I've done. And I know there's people that say, I've been knowing her all my life. Yeah, you have, but you don't know me. You
exactly.
know, you know what you see, but you don't know me. I don't even allow people to really get to know me until we have gone through so much
Mm,
before
mm,
I really pour out. I'm a giver. I'm a
mm,
giver by nature. And I like to help people. And if I see that you have a problem, I like to help. And I have come to find out that that may be one of my hindrances because I'm a giver and I'm a helper, so many people think that I'm doing it to get something back from you, but
Mm,
I'm not. What I'm
mm,
doing is I'm giving to you because when I was low and things were down for me, nobody was there for me. So when I see it in you, I give to you, but it's oftentimes they're not prepared, just like you said, they're not ready. And I have to
that is
leave
so
them
true.
there.
That
So
is
yeah,
so true. I mean, you've touched on some amazing points, and one of it was I just want us to go back to the permission, because I always say that for for followers need permission. And we needed permission in school to do things. You needed the approval of your teacher when you did something to know that, oh, have I done this properly? And the school system actually was breeding, training people to be followers. They were not really training people to be leaders. And when you come out, you have to really deconstruct from all of that, because leaders do not look for approval. Leaders do things because they feel that it's right. Leaders take accountability. Leaders lead. And when we talk about leaders leading, it means they do something and then others recognize it. So there's no way you're going to be a leader if you're not willing to take that risk to do something and do it for a very long time, and people thinking, I really like what they're doing. And then deciding, actually, I want to listen to her. And it starts with self-leadership. And I think this is where many people go wrong. We want to be able to go and tell people what to do, but our lives are not really self-led. We're still waiting for permission. And I see this with so many women, because we've been taught you wait for permission. You wait to negotiate your salary. You wait to be noticed. You wait to be picked, by a man. You
yeah,
wait, you wait, you wait, you wait, right? Um, and it just reflects in everything. So when it comes to leadership, people are still thinking, oh, am I doing the right thing? And you can't do that and lead people. You have to believe you're doing the right thing, and then you lead the people. So I really like how you said that about deciding to give yourself permission, because no one else can do that for you. You give your own permission. um and also you've touched on being a giver, and I think leaders do give. Leaders serve and they give so much. So you have to be able to put the boundaries, because if you do not have the boundaries, it's just going to be take, 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 and you're going to be depleted. And contrary
mhm,
to what people think about leaders, leaders have to have that buffer. So it's not just everyone that can get to you. Not everyone has access to you. The
no,
barrier is there. So there's steps to this and there's levels to this for you to be able to come into the inner circle, for you to be able to understand why I do the things that I do. So I really love how you're bringing all of this self leadership forward in how how you live your life. It's really relatable.
thank you. And you said we sit and wait to be picked by men and picked. And one of the things that I actually look when someone approaches me is how they lead their lives. If they
Mm,
don't have a workout plan and they don't get up and have a plan, or if they just let life happen, while I will converse with you, I know it won't last.
yeah,
We, you can't
yeah.
be a part of my circle. And it's
Mm.
not that I'm better or anything. It's just we see life two different ways. If you
It's what
can't
you
lead,
require of yourself.
right,
So you
exactly,
require of everyone else who comes
exactly.
around you, because it's if you put your regimen there, if you're looking after yourself. And I always say, when I meet someone who doesn't look after themselves, for me that is worrying and it's a red flag. I don't want to be anywhere near you, because if you don't look after yourself, you cannot look after me. You cannot
That's
prioritize,
exactly right.
you cannot look at me, you cannot think about my wellness. You will always be breaching my boundaries. So if you can't look after yourself and put yourself as a priority, then I don't think you belong in my circle. And you have, it is what it is. You decide who you want around you, and those are the terms and conditions for being around you. That is
Yeah,
leadership. You don't, you want what you want, and you're unapologetic about it. And I think we should be able to say that freely without feeling like, well, it's a problem, because it really isn't.
right. But in our community, it's a problem. When you put yourself first and you distance yourself to get the peace that you need, it's a problem.
Yeah, it
So,
really
you know,
is.
it's a problem. And I shared with a friend the other day, I said, I know for a fact that I was sent here to be a generational curse breaker. And she said, how can you say that? And I said, from the age of 10, I have been breaking generational curses on my family.
Mm,
And I said, because I do things completely different. I don't see it the way that they see it. I
mm,
said, when I was 10 years old, I said, I will not have children out of wedlock because of fear of because of how they treat me. I
mm.
will be married and have my children.
Yeah.
And I did. Then I got
Mm,
divorced. And I told her, I said, and even that was a curse breaker. And she said, how was that? I said, because I wasn't going to stay in a marriage that I was unhappy in for 40 or 50 years just to say that I was married. I said, I showed that I can take the reins of my life and go.
mhm, mhm.
And while it's not easy, it's definitely not easy because of the judgment of others, which I don't care about anymore. But it's been what's best for me. And I just believe that everything that happens in my life is not happening to me, it's happening for me. It's
Mm,
happening to make me better.
mm, mm.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to keep living. I'm going to keep going. So you can throw your daggers. You can say I'm this, whatever, but I know I'm a generational curse breaker. I know that my life is attached to others' lives. And if I don't do what I'm doing, I'm hindering other people. So that's how I have to look at
Absolutely.
my giving now,
Mm,
is to give to myself. And when I'm giving to myself and I'm showing other people how I'm giving to myself, I'm in hopes that this will help spark something with them to say, my life is tied to someone else. I need to get myself together so that I can inspire the next person. Because
absolutely.
I really believe that we're all tied together for a reason.
Hmm. Yes, we are. Amazing. So for leaders, what people observe or assess as your ability and your effectiveness as a leader becomes their reality about you, which is their perception, really, right? Everything that you do becomes their reality. So everything you're doing is their perception of you. And what sets great leaders apart from average ones is their ability to manage perception. How are you managed? How have you managed others' perception of you in your leadership roles? I know we say, some people can say things and we don't really care. Some people can throw daggers and everything else. But also someone who is aware that you're a leader and there is expectations of you once you become a leader. So some things can be daggers, some things can be criticism, and we have to be able to balance all of that. How do you balance the people's perceptions and just really do all of that you do, bearing in mind, we're looking at your background. You haven't got the degree, you've got all of these positions, you're building your self-worth and everything else. You've had your surgery, because some people still think that this is taboo. So you're continuously doing things that are going against the grain. How do you deal with all of that, and how people perceive you?
I had an interview with a company probably about 20 years ago, and the lady said that I lacked grit
Wow.
and that she didn't think that I was a good fit for the job because I lacked grit. I didn't have the staying power. I couldn't overcome these objections. And while I took it, I absorbed it, and I went and did something about it.
Mm,
Because what some people may have looked at that as, like you said, a dagger or a jab. I looked at it as education or redirection, because sometimes what someone has to say is valid if it's
mhm,
going to help you to get to the next level. So I don't throw criticism around on others. I say maybe they're just not ready, but I
mm,
look at myself introspect. If you were to come to me and say, Kimberly, you're not prepared for this, you're not ready for this, I will go and look and see exactly what it is you're referring to, and then come back, go and do what I need to do, and come back and make sure that I'm presenting myself as such. I I digest what people say, I throw away what I don't need, and I use what I need.
Mm,
I That's how I lead my life now. It used to hurt. I'm gonna be honest with you,
mm.
because we all think we're perfect, that I could do no wrong. It used to hurt, but now I
Yeah.
I absorb, I digest, I evaluate, and then I come back and I give back. Now I have to pick myself up sometimes, because sometimes the hurt is there because I didn't perform the way that I was supposed to. And I also know that not all times am I going to be 100, but I'm gonna give the best foot that I can when I'm there. I'm gonna give it all that I have. So when
Mm,
I'm doing that and I'm giving it all that I have, I go back to what the lady said. That means that I have some grit, because here I
mm,
am. I'm pushing. No matter what, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna find a solution. I just have to find a solution, because every problem is a two-sided coin. Every problem there's a solution. Every head there's a tail. So that's it. I just figure it out. I don't. It's kind of hard for me to tell you, Harriet, but I just figure it out. I just believe that there's just a way to figure it out. And being self-led is not, to me, it's easy to let someone else tell you what to do and you go do it. So
yeah.
being self-led and someone to tell you what to do and you to sit back and look at it and be like, does that serve my greater purpose? Is that going to help me to further my walk in the kingdom?
Mm,
And if it doesn't, then I throw it away. But if it does, and even if it was hurt and it was a sting or a jab, I'll accept it, rewrap it, and use it for my good. Because you can say to me, Kim, you need to be more prepared. You need to do this. And I can say, I am prepared. What is she talking about? But you're talking about being prepared for not just doing things here in my hometown. You're talking about doing it all over the world. But my small mind says, what is she talking about? I had to learn that you may know something that I don't, and I can learn from you. So I take it, digest it, break apart what I don't need, and I use the rest.
absolutely. Um, what I hear you saying is that as a leader, you have your own vision of what you want to accomplish. And when you go about trying to accomplish those goals, one when you get feedback, which can come as criticism, which is fine, but if you're going towards something, whichever way it comes back to you, you're able to recognize whether this is valid or not, because you have a target. You're thinking, I need to get here. So for me to get here, obviously this person might be giving me something. Okay, you're taking what they're saying and you're looking at it, you're breaking it apart, because it's hard to break something apart to find what is valuable if you don't know where you're going, right?
Right.
So this is you know where you're going. When the feedback comes in, you're looking at it, because I look at all of that as feedback. Criticism, everything, you put something out, it is feedback from the world in how they're receiving you. Some people will be projecting to you, some people will want better for you, and they'll be giving you tips, and it all comes in various shapes and forms. And being able to look at the data, as I would look at it, without looking
Yep.
at the emotions, you're just looking at the data. So what are they saying to me? And you're finding, okay, this data is leading me to where I want to go. It's easier to pivot that way. But if you don't know where you want to go in the first place, it would be hard to even know what to do. So I'm taking that you're saying that you can't really place it, but as you're speaking, I'm thinking, yeah, because she knows where she wants to go, because she has a plan for her life, because she sits down and she thinks, this is where I want to be in 6 months. And because this is where I want to be in 6 months, this is what I need to put in place. So this is the moves I need to make. And if I'm making this move and there's a barrier, okay, why is there a barrier? Do I need to reroute, or do I need more information? Do I need to wait? What do I need to do? And I think those are things that would really inform your next steps. But if you don't really have that. And it speaks volume when we're talking about self-leadership, because where are you leading yourself to? Where are you going? What do you want to do? You know, do you wake up in the morning and decide, where am I going? You know, you don't just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to fly to London. To do what? You know, there has to
Right.
be a purpose with what you want to do, right? And and then everything else comes into play. And I think the way you're managing the perception, as I consider you an outlier, you know, and outliers really, when you're walking around, you're doing something that hasn't been done, especially in your family. So you do not have reference points.
Not
you have
one.
you have no reference points. And this is the true nature of leadership. You do not have reference points, because the places you're going to, no one has been there. You know, even in corporate, when they say to you, well, our new target is this, no one in the company has been there.
Nope.
No one has hit that sales target. No one actually knows if it's possible. We're just having faith that it's possible, and we want to try and do it. So when people think that one form of leadership, even when you're being told what to do, the person telling you what to do, it's all theory, because they're calculating, well, if you do this, this might be the outcome. Most of the time, it's not. So this is where the self-confidence comes in, because you will fail so many times. You'll fail
Oof.
more than you actually on your feet. And when you fail, how do you deal with failure, Kimberly?
Failure is forward.
I love that.
That's all I say. Okay, forward next. Because I have to keep going. If this one didn't work, the next one may.
Yeah.
That's I tell myself that all the time. It's funny that you say that because I said it yesterday. They gave me my quota. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's June. Why haven't I gotten my yearly quota? Like it's June. We just got new jobs in May, so I understand it took a little while, but it's still June. So I got my quota and it's right at 12 million for the next 6 months. And they were like, that's a lot, Kim. I was like, and it's a number. We'll hit it. They were like, are you sure? I said, watch us work. We will hit it. We will not fail. There are lessons that I have learned in my sales job. We'll hit this number. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
forward. Failure is forward. I don't look at failure as, oh, I can't do it. Because here's a great example. One hit wonders. Someone has one hit song and the next thing they're gone, nothing. Because someone told them that they were going to be a one hit wonder. But had they just kept going, they
Mm-hmm.
could have been a two hit wonder. Who knows? Just keep going. You don't know. So failure is forward. We can't get out of life alive. So what are we
Mm.
afraid of? Why are we afraid of failure?
This is the thing I always say, no one's getting out alive.
Nobody.
This is it. No one is getting out alive. We're all going to die somehow. So
We're all going to
um,
the same place, the ground or ashes, whichever.
I love that. So being in the fitness industry, what is the correlation between physical fitness, the mind, as it relates to confidence?
Oh, wow. Woo. That's where it all started. That's where it
Mm,
all started. I was laying on my bed in meditation. At that time, I would lay back and just stare and meditate. And it was downloaded to me that I needed to get my health in check. It was exactly like that. You need to get your health in check. And I was like, because, and this was the message, you need to get your health in check because I want you to be able to speak to other people about getting their health together. When you
mm,
get your health together, everything else will start to fall into place that you want to do. And I was
mm,
like, I'm dreaming. I'm almost 300 pounds. There is no way anyone is going to listen to me if I go and have bariatric surgery about losing weight. They're going to say, you
mm,
took the easy way out. You did this, you did that. What I had to do was sit back and realize, no, I didn't take the easy way out. I saved my life. And in saving my life, it has made it so that I feel like my show is fit to win because I was always told I wasn't fit to do anything. You're
mm,
not fit to do this. You're not fit to do that. So that's why I'm fit to win now because I'm winning in my health, I'm winning in my career, and I'm winning in my life. And it all started with me taking over my health, because without it, I have nothing else.
Mm.
My mind was clouded. My physical ability, I couldn't move. I couldn't go up and down steps well. I had diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, um, back issues. My back hurt if I stood up for long periods of time. And getting weight loss surgery and actually getting my physical health, then part of weight loss surgery is huge on the mental. And you really do have to seek therapy for your mental.
Mm.
I'm not going to tell anyone not to, even if it's self-help therapy. You need
Mm.
to get some type of therapy when you're going through having weight loss surgery, because one of the side effects is depression. I've
Mm.
had my bout with depression. I've gone through all of that because your entire world changes.
Mm.
Everyone that you know, they're accustomed to you being fat. And when you lose the weight, you're no longer the fat one. And some people do not know how to relate to you. So, having weight loss surgery, my entire world changed, everything. And I could either fall back and be sad, pardon me, or I could make the changes in my health, my wealth, and my spirituality. And that's what I chose to do. I chose to seek God more in my journey. I chose to be more aggressive, not what say aggressive, but more, yeah, I will say aggressive, more aggressive about seeking the types of positions that I wanted to seek for myself in my career, because I felt as though now that I had lost the weight and I was healthier, I was able to deal with anything that came my way. Being
Mm.
overweight, I felt that's the only thing people saw about me, was being fat. And
Mm.
now that I am at a healthier weight, and I get up every day and I make the conscious decision. I don't make let life happen to me. I make life happen for me. I get up every day and the first thing I do, meditate, pray, and I work out, because if I don't pay myself and fill my own cup up, and this is my cup of my health, I can't do anything for anybody else. I'm no good for my job. I'm no good for my
Absolutely.
family. I'm no good for anyone. So I had to learn that that was the first thing that I needed to do outside of prayer, having my prayer life, is a having a health regimen for my life. And that changed everything for me. And
Mm.
I've on YouTube, if you go on YouTube, you see most successful people or leaders have a health regimen. Like, this is the first thing they do before they do anything else.
Yeah.
They make up their bed, they pray, meditate, they read, and then they work out. Even if it's just 30 minutes, they give themselves some type of physical activity. And it I'm telling you, working out just sparks all the ideas. They just
Yeah.
come. They come. When you're working out, they just come. And the things that you're dealing with, the stress and the anxiety, you can feel it falling off. You
Mm.
can just feel it. It's hard to explain because it's different for everyone, but it's a feeling that I wouldn't trade for anything. I didn't like working out. I didn't like getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning before, but now I look forward to it. It's the change, it's the mindset change, it's the growth.
So with the workout, there's a scientific thing connected to it. So when we work out, because I exercise every single day. And the days that I don't exercise, like doing the high intensity weights or running, I actually go for a walk or I do yoga and stretches. And they found that when we exercise, it creates new neural pathways in our brain. And when we have the new neural pathways, what tends to happen is it's easier for you to learn new things, to be optimistic, for information to come at you, because your brain activity is sparked, and then the releasing of the endorphins that really just give you that feel good factor, so you feel like you're on a high because of
Yep.
the exercise. Um, and it's I think if you're going to be in a place where you're leading others, and you have to think about how you're leading yourself, you have to be healthy, because success is connected to health. You can't have one without the other. The two go hand in hand. And And I really, really love that, you incorporate that with everything else, and even just looking at the mental well-being, because people think that just once you've lost weight, everything is okay. And I know mentally the brain takes, even when you lose weight the natural way, one of the reasons why people put back on the weight is because the brain takes about 1 year to get used to the weight that you have. So for 1 year, your brain is still trying to get used to it, which means your brain is still trying to feed you to take you back to the other weight because it's not used to the weight. And this is just you losing weight the normal way. Um, everything is the brain. It has to be fed, it has to be looked after, it has to be nourished. Um, how do you stay motivated and committed to your evolution?
Remembering, remembering how hard life was before,
Yeah,
and knowing that if I do the hard things now, it'll be easier going forward. I tell myself that all the time. I have to do hard things now to make life better for me. And Harriet, I see it and I
mm,
want it and I'm going to
mm.
get it. And
And I love
whatever it
that.
takes, whatever it takes. And I'm about to cry because I mean it. I
Yeah.
see it. I feel it.
Mm,
And I'm going to get it. I'm
mm,
My family will know that I was here. It won't be, well, who was that? That was your great grand. No, no. They will know that I was here. It will
mhm.
be something left here for them to know. If it's my journals, if it's this interview, they will know that I was here. They will feel it. They will know. And I am determined to be different.
Yeah.
I don't want what you want. I want what I want. And that keeps me going.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I love how
it
you said
does.
that because that really is legacy. Legacy is the recordings we leave behind. And this is one of the reasons I love doing this because people don't really realize all of these videos, recordings, they will live on longer than we will. And years down the line, you don't know. Someone might be like, oh my God, Kimberly said this, and they'll be quoting you because
Yeah.
we do the same thing with the, Neville Goddard and, all of these other people. We're always quoting them because, when they were saying it, probably they didn't think they would live, their words would live on. And it's one of the things that one of the reasons I enjoy doing all of these interviews. And I love how you're dedicated and motivated. And I also, just listening to you and kind of like looking at your interview as well with the magazine and just getting a feel of who you are. Um, you're not really built for mediocre. So there's something within you that keeps on pushing you. Um, it's not just about remembering, it's about I want something better. I want this. And it's also connected to giving yourself the permission because you're not waiting for someone to say, actually, you can have this. You're looking at something and you're like, I want this and I'm going to go for it. And not many people can actually say that because people still wait for permission. What do you think? I want to go for this. What do you think? But you're not doing that. And that's the epitome of self-leadership, honestly. Um, so from your experience and work, do you see a shift in leadership approaches and how we do business? Are people becoming more conscious of their well-being?
I do believe so.
Mm.
And I say that just based off of my current role in corporate America, how we actually have a well-being group now, which
Wow.
we had, right. We hadn't had anything like that before. We have a group that your Apple Watch actually connects to an app on our at work, and we actually get like $250 a quarter if we hit our step goals each day. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm seeing it now that even, well, with my job anyway, that they're rewarding you for your health. We have also a group of us that come together where we challenge each other to walk and challenge each other to work out every day, and it goes to the app. So yeah, I'm starting to see more people take on their well-being. Actually, I'm starting to see more of my friends working out. And that in itself and taking care of themselves means a lot to me because I want to say I'm the reason why, but I can't say that I'm the reason why. But I want to say that they see that I am and they know that it's possible.
I mean, we
But
lead by example, so you are the
yeah,
reason why, because you've shown them it is possible.
yeah.
And
And I
sometimes we need that.
yeah, I believe that. I believe that they see that it's possible for me. And I do see that we take on more health. A lot of people now are taking on their health. They may not know exactly what to do, but being able to even just get up and walk 15, 20 minutes, they're doing. I used to get on Facebook every night at 8 o'clock for 22 minutes, just walk in place for 22 minutes to encourage people to get up and walk, because the National Institutes of Health says that you should at least walk 20 minutes a day to get, I think it's like 175 minutes a week or so walking. And I just broke it down. I was like, you all, we have 20 minutes. We have 20 minutes to give to ourselves. So yeah, I started to see people getting online to walk with me. I've had a couple of people say, I miss our daily walks. I miss our daily talks. One lady messaged me 2 weeks ago and she was crying. She said, can I call you? She called me and she was crying on the phone. She said, I just walked 3 miles. And I want to say it's because we started walking 22 minutes with you. So yeah, I'm seeing more people start to do a little more for their well-being and in corporate too. So I'm happy. I am happy.
That is positive, right? Yeah, that's so good. Um, it's been such a pleasure to have this conversation with you because it's coming from so many different perspectives. I mean, I had the concept of, self-confidence, but even looking at self-confidence, it's a lot deeper than, the way we looked at it in surface level. It's more than just looking good and dressing good and, saying all the right things. It's about being able to look after ourselves and truly believing in ourselves, because you know it's the true belief in yourself that has got you to where you are. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you will not say, I want to go and get this. You will wait for
No,
someone to believe in you. I mean, and I understand some people need that, and that's where they are. um but for the purposes of talking about self-confidence and leadership and catering to the people, the audience who would resonate with your message, I think it's been such an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for making time. Thank you.
oh, no problem. Thank you for having me. I hope that my life will be an example to others that they can do it too. That's
It definitely will. We will get, we will keep you in our contacts and still, keep the conversation going, because you just never know what might happen down the road. Um, and watching your journey closely. I love doing that.
yeah, please continue.
I love
And
doing that. Yeah.
that boosts me to keep going. It does. It really does.
Awesome.
I love helping people. I used to think it was a curse, but I
Mm.
don't think it's a curse now. I really love helping people and I just need to embrace it and go forth.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your expertise with us today. And to everyone watching, Kimberly's information is going to be attached to this, and all the conversations that we will share with this interview. So you can, get in touch with her and get to know her, get to know what she's doing. And, she also has a podcast, which we're also going to put a link there, right? So that people
Yeah.
can be able to come and find you and listen to the podcast and get inspired and make your wellness your priority. It's all about your wellness. It's all about building yourself up, looking after yourself. And until next time, it's goodbye from us. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.